Hey guys, Mika here, and boy, do I have a phenomenal ukulele to share with you folks today. This is Charlie's Fukuba's wonderful tenor size custom all curly koa ukulele, the EEV ukulele. Um, you know, these are some of my personal favorites ukuleles that exist or that are out there. I'm so fortunate to be able to play a lot of Charlie's instruments or a lot of EEV instruments over the years, and it just keeps getting better and better. I just don't understand because when you're at the top, it just gets so much harder to get more at the top. And every time I play Charlie's instruments, it just always blows me away, and it's just really special to be able to play these instruments. Of course, it's works of art with just some of the stunning inlay work, headstock inlay work, the type of curly koa he chooses for his instruments. But man, just altogether, it's a fantastic instrument. So I'm so excited to be able to share this with you. This is his tenor size curly koa custom ukulele, boasting extremely, and I'll say versatile, because with koa, the beautiful thing about koa is that you kind of don't know what you're gonna get sound wise, and also like looks, because koa just can go in so many different directions. Just the type of curls, there's just so many different types of curls that you can see on the ukulele, ranging for all types of thin curls, big fat curls, just like kind of flamey curls and spots of curl. I mean, there's so many different varieties of just the curliness you can go with koa, but there's also so many different varieties of koa that you can get with the color of the koa itself, from ranging from the light blonde to getting that sapwood in the middle of the instrument, to getting like a kind of a brighter orange color, to a more darker orange color, to like a red, darker red kind of color. You can get a little dark chocolate kind of color koa. So this one kind of falls in that, like, kind of that blonde, kind of orange, bright orange koa. But what's really cool about this is that there's just so many different little details, and I'm going to try to point out to you, is that overall you're gonna get that like blonde orange color, which really pops. It really stands out. It's beautiful, but then it's accented really nicely by all of the dark lines and streaks within the instruments that you can find over here. Within the instruments itself, you can just see how overall, like as a big picture, it's very orange and very has that kind of blonde color. But even just pointing out the different spots of how just there's different colors that pop out like this, the more of the blondness over here. There's even some orange streaks here alongside of the dark lines right here. Even over here, going in the sides, beautiful curl on the sides. Again, really nice dark lines. And then on the back, you can just see so much of that orange streaks right here, more of the dark streaks right here, more of that blonde streaks right here. So I mean, this just, the curls are everywhere over here. I mean, can go on and on, but this is just such a beautiful set of curly koa. Again, here on the sides, and even the sides, super nice. You can see some of the orange right here, the dark lines right here, big grain lines or big curls. It's stunning, really, and that's why so many people, including myself, love koa. You know, koa is just some of the most striking, some of the most beautiful woods that you can put on an ukulele. Even guitar, I mean, Martin Taylor and all of the other guitar makers, they do it too. They take some just beautiful curly koa and make some amazing instruments, but even more so for the ukuleles. The rosette, this is kind of Charlie's thing. He made his own rosette design. This is featuring the mailele, M-A-I-L-E, mailele, and pretty much in Hawaiian culture, it's like the celebratory lei. And I think it goes pretty well with this ukulele, because if I got this ukulele, I'll be celebrating too, because this is the winner of an instrument. It's just fantastic. Just beautiful aesthetics around the rosette with this mailele. All paua abalone shell. And what's really cool about this is that although it's, you know, a design in itself, there's actually 26 individual paua abalone pieces that go, and they're individually placed inside in this lei fashion, and there's 26 separate pieces in which he went in and individually placed every single one, so that you get this beautiful mailele design of a rosette. Absolutely stunning. And then we have more of that abalone shell here, paua abalone shell around the outside of the instrument, paired really nicely and aesthetically with the black ebony binding here on the sides, just like that. Even around, and we have koa around around the side port over here. For the real quick, for those of you who don't know what a side port is, side port gives you accurate representation of what the what you would be hearing if you were standing or sitting in front of the instrument. However, it's really hard to do that because you're always going to be behind the instrument playing. But with your playing, the side port allows the instrument to have a space for the sound to come up, hitting your face, so you can hear exactly what a small representation of what you would be hearing if you were to be sitting in front of the ukulele. Unfortunately, you have to have someone else doing that for it to work. So with the side port, you're able to hear that accurate representation of what it would sound like in front of you. Moving up the fretboard, black ebony fretboard, and then the black headstock. Phenomenal inlay work, Paua abalone shell that's running along the fretboard. This is the I'm not gonna butcher the Hawaiian word. That's the name of the fern, but essentially these are fern leaves that's all spread about the on the fretboard. Just absolutely beautiful work. And then on the headstock, I've never seen a headstock from Charlie like this, so this is the first for me, and it's really hits it out of the park. Beautiful. Charlie known for using the EEV bird, name of the instrument, EEV custom ukuleles, and then all kinds of just different really intricate designs on the top with some curly koa, some Paua abalone shell, and some other really cool design features. Pretty much the EEV bird is in its natural habitat in the forest, and he managed to kind of paint that description on his headstock. And the logo for EEV is that EEV bird. So usually it's kind of up here on the top, but he went ahead and had a slightly different design for this, and it's absolutely beautiful, really. And then here on the back, we have a satin neck, mahogany, and then we have planetary gold tool tuners, some of the best tuners you can put on an instrument. Super smooth, super accurate. It gets the job done, and it has a small footprint of a design. So stunning instrument. And I didn't even get into the sound yet, which is another huge factor of why I love EEV so much. So for me, and I like to say this in all my sound samples, is that sound is extremely subjective. We all hear things differently, so I'm just going to try to explain how I hear things. When I hear this instrument, it has that koa. First of all, it has that koa sound, and for me, when I hear of koa, koa again is subjective because it can just sound like a lot of different things depending on how dense the koa is, how light the koa is, how it's built, all these factors. But usually koa likes to have this kind of mid-range warmth in terms of like if you have like kind of low ends and then you have like sparkly highs that shimmer. Koa kind of likes to range over here, but again it can move on either side of the spectrum. But when I hear koa wood instruments, it has such that warm woody mid-range tone, and EEV perfectly captures that, but it goes one step further and it still maintains a lot of that mid-warmth, but it has some of that low end, some of that oomph that you get in instruments where you can get in like Brazilian rosewood or Indian rosewood, Macassar ebony, those kind of more denser woods where you need those kind of woods to get some of that low end response. And somehow Charlie has figured out how to capture that with using koa wood or curly koa wood while still maintaining and keeping that beloved koa sound that we all fell in love with when we hear the ukulele played. So when I play like a simple C chord, it has so much warmth, it's so inviting, it just makes me feel good on the inside. But then when you really listen to it, you can hear that low G and that C string. It comes underneath and just gives it that little oomph to where it just has such a very full, mature, kind of full body sound. Even like on the G7. And the thing is, I don't even have to play hard. This is just me regularly using my thumb to hit the strings. Now, if I were to try really go hard, it'd probably blow all the microphones out, so I'm not going to do that. But this instrument it shows that it can respond it just responds very well, and it does what it needs to do. Even for picking, if I do this G7 chord, it just fills the room. There's just so much. Yeah, it's just gonna keep going. Okay, so that's another just winner thing about this ukulele, is just the sustain. It just goes on. Usually I like to think like 5 seconds. Like if it goes beyond 5 seconds, that's just incredible in terms of sustain. But like, oh my gosh, just for this G7 chord. But just the quality of the tone of the instrument is just phenomenal. Just the quality of the sound is just so it just sounds so good. I wish I had the words to try and it sounds so good. Yeah, this instrument has a lot of volume to it, and you know, being able to have all of that volume is really good too, because it means that you don't have to play as hard on your instrument. But what's going one step further with having all of that volume is that it's the quality of the volume, yeah, the tone that follows, or the tone that accompanies the volume of the instrument. It just fills the room, but it still makes me feel very warm on the inside. It just makes me feel good when I strum this ukulele. It's such a clean instrument. If I do some picking. So much tone for days. So one of the things with EEV's ukuleles is that for me, this is like the classical ukulele. It's just so clean, so precise, so pristine. The sound, the tone that you get, or the quality of the notes when I pick it, it sounds like a piano. You know, when you pluck a piano, it's just perfect every single time you pluck any note. Just you're gonna get a very, very consistent type of sound and quality. It just kind of has that classical sound to it, which is so fitting for me because I'm a classically trained musician. So there's a lot of like technical things I would want to hear out of an instrument, and yeah, EEV is just one of those instruments that just, like, if you're a classical guitar player and you're like, man, I want to make that jump to the ukulele, yeah, this is your instrument. Or anyone who just wants an extremely clean instrument, but again, just so warm, so inviting, has that Hawaiian koa sound. Oh my gosh. But if you're looking for something a little extra, with just, again, having that lower end response, having that deepness with the sound quality, that mature sound, I mean, just literally like try to shake the sound out of this shit. There's just so much. I can let it ring for a few seconds, still grab it, and still shake the sound out. You can still hear it going. You just don't get to hear instruments that do that. It's just so hard to come across those kind of instruments. Phenomenal. Alright, enough fangirling. I'll go ahead and get into a sound sample that can really try to make this ukulele shine. So here we go. See, even up here is super clean. So, awesome. Just an awesome instrument. So, here's some strumming to go along with it.